Hello everybody, welcome to another tutorial on frames, the granular synthesizer. In this video I'd like to go through a little bit deeper into the waveform set of options that we have available in frames. So let's start. We have first of all a no sample or no patch loaded. So as we click on the keyboard down here, you don't hear any sound. We have selected layer 1, both on the top and on the bottom, and we have also the link selected. We are on waveform here on the top layer, which is pointed to layer 1, and we are on the control on the second layer, which is still pointed to layer number 1. So let's go through the option that we have available on the waveform screen. So first of all, you have a button here which says waveform. You can click on it and you can move to live input. As you can see, as I'm talking, you have the live input which is coming from the microphone of my iPad in this case. And you can freeze, for example, to see the waveform that has been sampled directly from the microphone. As well, you can change all the different sizes in terms of playing, which we'll look at that later on. If you click back on the input, you go back to the waveform, so you can move from live input to preloaded waveform or recorded waveform, simply clicking on the waveform button. At the moment it says no file loaded because there are no files which are loaded into this layer number 1. You have a button here which says which is pointing down, so you can click on it and you go to effectively a patch browser where you can select factory banks or any recording that I previously done, and as you can see there are a lot here, and you can listen to those, or you can also of course delete them, like so, clicking on the X like so. And for the purpose of the tutorial, let's remove all the previous one which we have recorded, so I can show you straight away how things works. So okay, we have deleted them all. You have also imported ones. Here I will show you all the waveform which you have imported, and you can click on import, of course, and the screen will come up for you to import additional waveforms. Okay, let's click cancel. Let's go back to factory now, and let's click, for example, on ARP lead. At the moment I have the headphone selected here, which means I can hear a preview as I click on the different factory waveforms. I can click close or I can click load. In this case, if I click load, I have loaded the waveform inside layer number 1. Here it gives you the name of the waveform, the sample rate. It's been sampled at 44K, and it is of type stereo. You can see 2 lines for the waveforms. It is type of read only. You can have duration, and you have also the size in kilobyte. So you can load in this way additional waveform as you prefer and as you like. In a previous video I showed you quickly how to use some, not all, some of the controls, which I'm going to use again in this video, in particular the offset, which move the starting position of what we are playing, and the size, we're changing the size of what we have, of the part of the sample that we are playing. So we are playing from this point to that point, and also the density, which is the number of granular or grains which are triggered. In this case, let's turn it down to 0, so there will be only 1. And if I click on the keyboard, it will play from that point to that point. Of course, I can change the size. Okay, perfect. So let's move on to other part of the waveform screen. So let's click on this button, which is delete, to empty the waveform. Okay. This button here is for recording, so let's test it. So we record from the microphone. 1, 2, 3, and let's click again on it to ensure that the recording is stopped. Now let's move the offset to the beginning to 0, and let's move the size to maximum, so we will play the entire waveform.
1,
Okay, let's move up of the register.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, here we have a symbol of scissor. This works only when you have selected something on the screen. So for example, let's select from there to there. We click on the click symbol. We select yes. It says that it is irreversible. And voila, we have only what we have cut. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that makes perfect sense. And if I continue, for example, you have 1, 2, 3. If I select again like that and I click cut and I select yes, I will have 2 and 3.
2, 3.
And again, if I select the last one like so and I click cut and I select yes again, I will have only 3. 3. Okay, perfect. Remember, this button here is to delete what I put in the patch, in this case the waveform. Now let's record again those 3 numbers through the microphone of the iPad. 1, 2, 3. Stop. So let's click play. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Now an option which we have touched on a previous tutorial is the copy and the paste. So if I click copy, you will see it become blue here. I can now move to another layer and click paste, and you will see the waveform which is being copied. And this is really interesting. So let me show you an example of what you can do. Let's set for layer number 2 the density to 0, and let's make the size a touch bigger. And let's move the offset, for example, to play only the waveform, part of the waveform in the middle where it says number 2. Let's go back to layer number 1, and let's reduce the size to play only and move the offset to play only number 1, or the word 1 as part of the sample. So let's reduce the size, and voila, let's click on a keyboard. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. So it's playing 1 on layer number 1, and it's playing 2 this part of the waveform on layer number 2. And if you want to see it, you just unlock it here, and underneath here just select layer number 2, click waveform. So in this top you will see the layer number 1. On the bottom you see layer number 2, and you can see the different layer play as I click as I press a key on the keyboard. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1. So pretty cool. You have here a button which is for mono, but if you click on it, you also move to stereo. Therefore, you can record also in stereo. And remember, you can also add the sound card or another device to improve your own recording. Let me show you another application. So let's delete that from layer number 1 and also that from layer number 2. So on layer number 1, let's load again ARP lead. Okay, and let's change the controls, the offset to play from the beginning, and increase the size to maximum. So if I go back to the waveform, it will play the entire waveform. Perfect. Now on layer number 2, let's load another sample. So for example, blues riff. Yeah, let's load that. Okay, and you can see the waveform is loaded. And here on layer number 2, again, let's modify the offset to start at the beginning and increase the size to maximum. So in this case, if I go back to waveform, you see both waveforms being played. And here where it becomes absolutely interesting, where the frames is really good. Let me show you another example. So let's say that I want, let me go to actually show the layer number 2 on the top and at the bottom, which goes to control. Let's change the offset to go somewhere in the middle, and let's reduce the size. Somewhere like that, and let's move the offset maybe there and a little bit smaller like that. Now, let's say that I want these to move left and right on the waveform as I'm playing, but I want what is set in layer 1 to play from beginning to the end as a loop. Well, I want instead that layer 2 to effectively oscillate left and right, up and down. So how do I achieve that? Very simple. So let's go to the metrics. Let's go to LFO number 1 and let's go under offset. Click on that and let's increase the intensity like that. And then let's go to modifiers and let's increase a bit the rate. And let's try. Let's click on the C4 and hold. Less delay, perhaps a little bit too fast. Again, let's show layer number 1 at the bottom, and let's go to the waveform, and let's again hold on the C4 key on the keyboard. So as you can see, we have a waveform on layer number 1, which is played beginning to the end in a loop fashion. And then we have on layer number 2 a different waveform, and a part of the sample is played, and the position of that sample, the offset, is moved up and down through the settings which have been set on the modifiers and also on the metrics. We have the LFO1, which is modifying the offset values. So as you can see, great possibility in terms of what you can achieve manipulating waveforms and recording your own waveforms as well. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Bye.